Cardinals have righted the ship, gone on a nice little run, and now lead Xavier 24-20 late in this first half here at the Cintas Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. Deb, you and I were talking during that commercial break that it looks to me, looks to you, I should say, that Xavier is quick shooting and from the outside.
Yeah, I think they like to shoot the three a lot, and Kevin McGuff knows that balance in his offensive system is huge, but without Tashia Phillips on the floor, it changes the way you defend Kevin McGuff's team, and they become very small, which is exactly the way Louisville plays, is small because they can't play big. Tashia Phillips is on the floor, and Louisville was down by 2. Xavier had a 2-point lead, and there's a deflection.
Steven can't get her down, and it'll be a fresh 30 for the Cards.
It's Angel McCautry's defense off the ball is why she was second in the nation in steals last year.
McCautry throws it away. Look out. Well, I'll tell you, April Phillips has struggled in the scoring department, but her D has been pretty good, and she's working her tail off.
Watch Angel McCautry get inside position offensively and then keep the basketball alive. Such great work ethic by McCautry.
Well, on that last fray, Bingham was whistled for her first. Both clubs have 5 team fouls. April, another travel or 3 seconds. Well, I'll tell you, we're making a big deal out of Tashia Phillips being, on the bench with those 2 fouls, and then I look over at that Xavier bench and see Amber Harris, and it darn near makes you sick in the street clothes. The 1-2 punch of that club, that's going to have to wait a while now.
There's a lot of players that are out early with ACL injuries.
Yes.
I can't stand it in our game, and I don't know how we fix it.
You've broken that down over the course of the years, Deb, and the amount of women who have gone down to knee injuries, it's just, it's unbelievable.
This has something to do with our Q angle and our lack of strength in our hamstrings.
That's right.
Just got to fix our training programs. Now watch Angel McCautry right here. This is the 1-2-2 defense. McCautry with a steal because Bingham's got great pressure up front. That's why she was second in the nation last year in steals. That 1-2-2 defense, and most teams are right-handed, so they bring it up the right side of the floor and then reverse it. That's where McCautry is, on the reversal.
Great point, and I love you giving Bingham a little love, too, and getting that whole thing started. That length. Jennings, wow, what a finish.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem for Louisville all year, is their ability to protect the paint. They don't have a shot blocker unless it's McCautry rotating from the weak side. And they can't put that kind of pressure on her to block shots. I think that's a dangerous thing for her because she could get in foul trouble.
All right, so the lead is down to a deuce for Louisville. And coming up at half, we've got a good one. Women's A-10 basketball yesterday. The men's Xavier club with a buzzer beater far, far from home. And Temple's got a brand new coach. Tanya is going to visit with Gregory Amziger. That's going to be fun. We're loaded at half,
yes.
Deb.
Greg always does a great job.
You bet.
I happen to have Dawn Staley's South Carolina club, who is last year's A-10 regular season winner, and Dawn Staley had been at Temple for 9 years before she took the job at South Carolina, one of the bigger hires this season, off-season. They got some work to do at South Carolina. And Dawn doesn't have a point guard right now, and that's a problem for Dawn Staley. Can you imagine what that looks like?
You talk about sleepless nights, right?
That hurts.
Oh, one of the all-time greats ever as a point guard in women's basketball on every level. 10 on the clock. Bingham almost gets stripped. Hangs in there, goes hard against April Phillips, and there's April with another board. Man, she's getting after it on the glass.
At least Bingham looked like she wanted the basketball on the block that time. Oh, she traveled.
They're just saying, go ahead and shoot from the outside if you'd like, Xavier. That's what the Cards are saying anyway. Bingham's got Jennings, and there's only 8 on the shot clock for Taylor now. Wanted to pull up with that off arm. Watch out now. This time does pull up, created space, got it.
A senior coming into the game, 9 threes and only 4 twos on the year.
So Xavier hanging around with the great Tashia Phillips on the bench with foul trouble. 24 apiece, buck 20 left. Reed, nope. Travel going the other way.
Watch right here. This is all one-on-one. A matchup that Kevin McGuff likes. He saw it on tape. He believes that Taylor can take Bird off the bounce.
Well, credit Xavier for hanging in there without Tashia Phillips. Knotted up at 24 apiece. Moving the ball nicely. Jernigan passes up the three. She'd like to get a little closer. April, no call. And here it comes, Louisville. Bird, not this time. Jennings. Tudy Reed, hot early, still hot. Come on, this fight.
That's on McCautry. You got to stick a hand in her face. 5 threes in the first half. Tudy Reed in transition. She just stops and sticks it. Now that is well beyond the men's three-point line this year. That's almost close to NBA range by Tudy Reed.
She's got 17 points, Deb, and nobody getting a hand at her. She had plenty of real estate to work with.
Yeah, you have to recognize her on the floor. Without Tashia Phillips, and Louisville is switching on everything, but you got to give Tudy Reed credit. She sat over there on the bench, got a rest. She gets back in the game, and she is ready to fire. I love the transition three in our game. I think that really is exciting. I love it when bigs can shoot it. I like it when the guards are looking for it in the open court.
Last year at this time, Xavier was thinking, wait till Reed and April Phillips become eligible, both transferring, of course, into the Musketeer system. And it's very obvious that the wait was worth it because Reed, in a quick and short amount of time, has been awfully good for McGuff's bunch. April Phillips helping out as well. She coming on over from Georgia Tech. Bingham. Boy, great help side defense by Jennings, slipping over.
When you make that pass so far away from the basket, there's too much space, and Jennings' reaction on the weak side was terrific.
22 on the shot clock.
Just takes too long to get there.
Yep. Bringing down rain. 32 on the game clock. McCautry wants to touch it. Bingham. Offensive foul. And that's Bingham's second.
A little clear out for Bingham. She gets the one-on-one. There's the push-off right there. And officials, it's an emphasis this year of refereeing contact initiated by the offensive player. That's a perfect example of it right there.
So Phillips, April that is, and Jernigan back in as McGuff is playing for this last shot of the half. So know this, game clock is off. 29.4, or excuse me, shot clock off, 29.4 on the game clock. Taking care of the ball will be a premium for Xavier. Wait a second now, that sure looked tipped. There we go. Special darn near came out of her shoes. 19.5 for Xavier to execute and try to build on their three-point lead. Terrific first half so far. Back and forth with Tudy Reed stealing the show. All right, here we go. Taylor steps back. It's short. April. Wow, picks up the garbage, and with just a smidge on the clock, April Phillips will go to the free throw line. So April Phillips will toe the line. She'll have a couple, will the sophomore out of Long Beach, California. Only 3 for 7 in the free throw department this young season. Let's see if she can pad that a little bit. Yes, sir. So April Phillips has been struggling a little bit from the floor, but she was able to pick up that loose ball and get herself to the line. Second offering, no good. But thanks to Tudy Reed and a fantastic first half from beyond the arc, Xavier leads Louisville 28-24. These two clubs, non-conference rivals, neighbors, if you will, and it's been a heck of a first half. Debbie Antonelli, you're standing by with Kevin McGuff. Take it away.
All right, Kevin, Coach, how do you feel about your effort so far without Tashia Phillips being able to be a factor?
I thought we played really hard, especially on the defensive end. We're going to have to maintain that intensity in the second half, but we got to get Tashia now back in the game and make sure she can get some touches around the basket.
One of your plans and your defensive game plan was to keep McCautry on the perimeter. How do you think you've done on that end of the floor?
Well, we did well in the first half, but she's a great player, as good as anybody we're going to face this year, so we're going to need even better effort in the second half to try to do that again.
You think Tudy can keep the hot hand in the second half?
I certainly hope so. We're going to need it.
All right, Coach, thank you. Ann, back to you.
Thank you so much, Debbie Antonelli and Coach McGuff. Heck of a first half. Xavier using 17 points from Tudy Reed, including 5 for 5 from beyond the arc. Yeah, the two buddies get along. Angel McCautry has been trying her best to keep Louisville in it, but it's been Reed, and more Reed. Xavier defense pretty good, too. Got a good one cooking here at the Cintas Center. Nationally ranked foes getting after it. Louisville and Xavier. The Musketeers leading by 4 at the break. Debbie Antonelli, all kinds of numbers stick out for me. What about you?
Yeah, well, look at the three-point shooting as part of the reason why Xavier has the lead. Rebounding Xavier's favor without Tashia Phillips playing a majority of the minutes. She was limited with foul trouble, only played 10 minutes in the first half. Of course, Louisville, with those 14 turnovers for Xavier, Louisville has 7 steals on that. That's how they've been able to transition, because they've really struggled in their quarter court offensively.
Now, you mentioned Tashia Phillips saddled with foul trouble for the Musketeers. So how about Tudy Reed stepping up saying, what can I do to help?
How about 5 threes in the first half? That's how well Tudy Reed shot the basketball. She looked for her offense in the quarter court. She hit transition threes. She was good on the skip pass. When they played inside out, Tudy Reed made herself available outside the arc and got in a position where she could square her shoulders with a nice looking release, feet to the basket. I thought Tudy Reed had a fantastic first half. Let's see if she can keep the hot hand.
Angel McCautry, all everything for Louisville, settled a lot for that outside jumper. Her field goal percentage way down.
Well, you know, there's another 20 minutes to play, but you're right. I thought Xavier did a fantastic job defending Angel McCautry. That's a 15-foot elbow jumper. She makes that 80% of the time. She's catching the ball standing still. And when she catches it off the dribble, they've brought 2 to her because she demands 2. She can't be frustrated. She's got a couple of steals. She's got 8 boards. She impacts the game in other categories. She will get hers. She's got to be more demonstrative offensively and demanding the basketball from her point guard, Desiree Bird.
Well, Bingham, who had a good first half, will inbound it. And just a gentle reminder, last year when these two clubs met, McCautry's numbers look like this: 21 points, 11 boards, 10 steals for one of those rare triple-doubles. So she's capable of going off at any time. Jumper again, rims out. A little bit of a push-off, I thought, but Xavier still comes up with it. Tashia Phillips, wearing number 53, will be back on the court for Xavier. She, with those 2 first-half fouls, will have to be careful, stating the obvious.
But I think with Angel McCautry catching the ball in the middle of the floor, Jeff Walls is not giving her a chance to be able to go to her strength, which is being able to score in the open space. There's too much help in the middle of the floor for Angel.
Good point. Phillips can't score down low. Laura Terry took one right in the chest on the offensive rebound attempt by Phillips, but Louisville comes away with it. Bird, who was pretty solid in that first half, will give it up to Bingham.
And look at Angel McCautry. She's catching the ball out of her scoring range. She's got to catch it where she can be a factor.
1 on the shot clock. Bird.
Yeah, too much standing around by Louisville, and Bingham gets a nice rebound.
Boy, quick shot, though, off the fresh 30. So we'll go the other way, but it was in her wheelhouse. Instead, it'll be Tudy Reed rimming out. That's her first miss from beyond the arc of this game. Was 5 for 5 going into that attempt. Bird decides to collect herself, and now Bingham will be whistled for the travel.
And see, there is a personnel decision. You've got a chance to give it to McCautry or Bingham in transition. You got to give it to McCautry, and I think she's standing around pointing to who and where instead of running the offense herself. You take a look at the top scorers last year in the NCAA. She was 4th in the country. Amber Holt, who led the nation in scoring from Middle Tennessee State, had a very good WNBA rookie campaign.
McCautry's going to have to find the magic. Louisville relies so heavily on her with Shantice Wright on the bench with that knee injury. Another outside shot, this one by Special Jennings, rims out. No scoring yet in this second half. We've played a couple of minutes. Louisville trailing by 4.
And Louisville, look how much standing around is taking place offensively. They're not moving. They're not cutting off the ball. And they're settling for jump shots.
Yeah, that's a great point. Kind role for Bingham, but yeah, you're right.